Before we start the Q&A, we're going to show you your car, essentially. It's the Porsche 911 Carrera GTS4 British Legends Edition, which is not a tongue twister at all.
Hello everyone and welcome to Galaxy 89 Cars. Now today I'm headed over to Porsche Centre Portsmouth for a night celebrating the success of retired English racing driver Derek Bell. Now I realise some of you may not be completely familiar with who Derek Bell actually is. Essentially he's a racing driver, now retired, that specialised in kind of endurance racing. He won the Daytona 24 Hours 3 times. I mean, he was even in F1, although it doesn't really count as endurance, but still. He raced under lots of different manufacturers, but he saw his most success with Porsche in Le Mans, where he won 5 overall victories. All of these accomplishments combined means that he's still the UK's most decorated racing driver. As a result, Porsche are honouring him with a British Legends Edition 911. That's what I'm going to see today, him unveiling that very car. So I hope to give you a real feel for the event tonight, and of course, focusing on the 911, why is that car different from other 911s that are going to be out there? What makes it special, other than his name being on it? Maybe, just maybe, I'll even be able to get a few words with the man himself. When I first arrived at Porsche Centre Portsmouth, I was surprised at how many people had decided to attend. Out front, there were a selection of older cars and a new 991 911T, owned by the dealer manager. Inside, I was greeted by a 991 911R in a very bespoke specification. The 911R, despite being new, has already claimed legendary status, so it was a welcome sight. As I worked my way through the showroom, I found the 2 cars that were waiting to be unveiled, as well as a few more classic models, such as the silver 914 and the white 911 Carrera CS. The workshop was also open, with new Porsche models decorating the various lifts, such as 718s and a Panamera Sport Turismo. After covering all of the ground floor, I made my way upstairs to the awaiting GT and RS models. Here, I decided to focus on the 2018 cars, the first of which was this Miami Blue 991 911 GT2 RS. This was followed by the brand new 991.2 GT3 RS in its launch colour, lizard green. I will be filming one of these in more detail very soon. Behind these RS models, there was a new GT3 in racing yellow. Shortly after admiring all of the brightly coloured creations upstairs, we were all called down for the main event.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and a warm welcome to the Porsche Centre Portsmouth. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Tony Gatt and I'm the Centre Principal here. We at Porsche Centre Portsmouth are very passionate about all things motorsport, so we thought it would be a great idea to hold this British Racing Legends evening here tonight. I just wanted to thank our customers for bringing their pride and joys here tonight. So we've got some classic cars downstairs. We've got some GT product upstairs for those of you who haven't been. And I'm glad to say, I'm very happy to say, we've got a 911R over there, so I keep disappearing here. It's actually used properly. It's not a garage queen. Thank you very much for bringing it along tonight. I really do appreciate it. So that's enough from me, because I think what I'd like to do is introduce Lee Sibley. He's the editor of Total 911 magazine, and for you YouTubers, he's also that 911 guy. And there's another guy here that hopefully you might know, that I used to follow many years ago, 5 times Le Mans winner and Porsche racing legend Derek Bell.
Are they on? Magic. Happy days.
I can't believe what we're seeing here. I've been to some other dealerships in the last few weeks with the book and with Porsche generally, but I've never seen anything like this. So thank goodness it's in my area, and I'm so pleased about that. So thank you so much all for coming. I prepared to say that before you leave.
No, it's absolutely fine.
What are you going to say now?
Before the onslaught of questions. Well, before we start the Q&A, we're going to show you your car, essentially. It's the Porsche 911 Carrera GTS4 British Legends Edition, which is not a tongue twister at all. So yeah, here we go. There's 2 of them, I believe. Only one for you.
Yeah, I can't take my pick, but I picked this one because it's the one I drove back for the film back in September or whenever it was at Silverstone.
Yeah.
I've only driven it on the track, but not fast. They were so slow, I couldn't believe it when we filmed. I was dying to have a feel of it, But I guess they were a bit nervous. But Yes, it really is rather lovely, and we, obviously there were 15 of these built, and we had 15 Richard Atwoods built and 15 Nick Tandys. The Richards was in the 917 colours that you can see up there on the orange or red 917. Somewhere up there, I was sitting looking at it, and Nick's is the white one, which is somewhere up there as well, which was the 919. But was a white car basically. So they had 15, I had blue and they had red, and then Nick had white. And they were all sold within a week, so that's pretty exciting. And we didn't do that much with them, but Porsche kept saying, well, if you had a dream car, how would you build it? And so I said, well, actually, I think I always just like driving your cars because you build them so damn well. I can't really make them any better, but we chose a few extra things. We got sort of very lightweight panels inside, Kevlar, and special sort of fittings inside, and also you've got centre lock wheels. And I chose, well, actually we sort of chose between us. We all chose to have, PDK.
Yeah, okay, so I'm going to come back to PDK shortly, but we should point out obviously the car is sapphire blue, which is reminiscent of the Rothmans livery, which you're fairly well renowned for racing in the 1980s. Again, it being GTS, so it's the centre lock wheels come as standard. Yours, Mr. Atwood's and Mr. Tandy's cars, they're all four-wheel drive. Yeah. Why did you decide to go for four-wheel drive when creating this car?
Well, I had to, because the others did. I do think, I've changed over the years. I was never an all-wheel drive person. And I drove my little GTS here tonight. It was so nice to sort of, when you came out of the corner, you really felt it sort of grinding at the back as it ripped up to go, whereas these just go around so smoothly. But I think safety-wise, all-wheel drive is certainly a great thing to have in the winters we have in this country, and wet roads. Just gives you that bit of stability. The only other thing is you mustn't get carried away with it and, overdrive it.
Brilliant, okay, so yeah, we'll come back to PDK because you could spec manual in this car if you wished, but you've gone for PDK. You have more experience of PDK than most. Can you please elaborate on that?
That depends how long we got. But no, back in the early 80s, I drove with Porsche with the 956 and the 962s, really from 1980 all through the 80s until the early 90s. It was in the Rothmans Porsches and in America with the Lermbrow Porsche, which was a similar colour. Well, we won a heck of a lot of races with them. But the PDK was something that inevitably Porsche brought in for us to sort of to use, to try with a view to racing them obviously up the road, and presumably but ultimately to put them on the road cars. And when I drove it, I have to say I wasn't at all happy, and because it was just too slow. And when you actually well, Stuckey and I drove it all through 83 or 84, and we couldn't win a 1,000-kilometre race because it would always break. And when you're a racing driver, you want to win races. That's why you're called a racing driver. I didn't really want to be a development driver, and I kept telling Porsche that we wanted to win races. It was funny, the Germans that were in the team, Hans Stuck and people, they sort of didn't say much. But it was left to the Brit to say what he thought. And I was really upset about it because, as I say, I wanted to win races. They wanted to win too, but they wanted to develop their car. And I remember particularly, we had the PDK leading up to the last round in the World Championship at Fuji. And I really wasn't happy, as I say, to run it in 1,000 Ks, and yet myself and Stuckey could win the World Championship that day, or that weekend. If we didn't finish in the top 4, Derek Warwick was going to win it in a Jaguar. And I kept thinking, surely, forget I'm a Brit for the moment, but you're Porsche. You must want Porsche to win the World Championship and the Constructors' Championship, or us to win as drivers and then the Constructors. Surely you don't want a British car with a British driver to do it. And they were amazing. They didn't agree at all with me. And I remember, and I didn't get, out of control or anything, but I was quite peeved. So my boss, Peter Falk, he called up Professor Bott back in Stuttgart. And he said, Derek, obviously told him Derek, or Bell's not happy. And so, of course, at that point, they'd also put on ABS on the front of the car, or all round on the car, but the weight was all in the front. And I remember thinking, God, well, you're testing the, PDK on one end, and you've got ABS all round, and we'd not even tested ABS ourselves, and we thought, it can't work. And I remember walking by the truck, and there was, on the back of the truck was the regular gearbox, the transmission, the normal manual. I remember thinking, I could win the world championship with that tomorrow, but I can't with that damn car we got out there. So anyway, the message came back from Professor Bott, tell Mr. Bell that he can either take off the ABS or he can take off the PDK, but he can't take them both off. So Ix and I went into the race, well, we elected to take off the ABS because we hadn't tested it. Of course, stupidly, we didn't know it was going to be with rain the next day, and the ABS would have been wonderful. But we just went for the thing we knew was a little bit more reliable than the ABS, we thought. So that was it. So went into the race, and we started to dry out. So we were actually going very, very well. And I handed over to Hans Stucker like after 3 hours. It was going to be a 5.5 hour race. I handed over to Stucky, and as I sort of sat back, I went to the back of the pit, and up came this journalist from Eurosport, and he said, so tell us about how it was out there, Derek. I said, well, it was remarkable, and how's the PDK? I said, it's not bad, it's working okay. And I saw Stucky, I saw the car, all I could see was the back of the car, and I saw him start the engine up, and you had to push the clutch in. You've got about ½ an inch of movement. Push the clutch in, and you just tap it into gear, and then you let the clutch out, but it didn't go out gently. Bang, it went like that every time. And you went bang, and the drive shaft went whack. The drive shaft came off. So he sat there, and this guy's interviewing me. I went, oh shit. I said, there goes our world championship. So he carries on. He said, what do you mean? And I knew it was our last race of the era. It was the end of the 962, and that was the end of the year. But I don't give a damn now. I'm going to say what I think. I said, I can't believe it. I said, here we go. I said, we're out here driving with this damn PDK. And I said, it's just never worked in 1,000 kilometers. And they said, we're trying to win the world championship. It's so annoying. So that was it. So we carry on in the race. We lost about 2 laps, and we're down to 9th. And we work our way back up to 5th or 4th place by the end. And that was it. Derek Warwick's world champion. Derek Warwick, the Jaguar, won the race. And we went, God, that's it. I was so upset. Stucky never said anything, he just grunted every time I mowed. He just said, well, he couldn't say it because he's German. And so the next thing is I sort of go back to the hotel, we all have dinner, all depressed and stuff. And then my manager, David Mills, phones me from over here, and he says, well done, old chap sport. He said, you won the championship. I said, get out, David, we didn't win the... Yes, he said, yeah. I said, David, I'm 500 yards from the start-finish line, right over there, and we did not win the race, and we did not win the world championship. He said, no. He said they started to recalculate, and they found out that the Jaguar had been accredited with 1 more lap than it had. So we won the world championship. And that damn PDK worked, sort of. But that was really what it was like. And they used us as test beds. They did it twice. They did it with Motronic Motronic injection as well. It was a nightmare.
The interview went on for some time, to a surprisingly large crowd, but it was a fantastic insight into Derek's racing career, with interesting and often hilarious stories. When the interview concluded, Derek began signing copies of his new book, All My Races, as well as anything else that could be thrown at him. As the evening began to wind down, I decided to take a closer look at the very limited British Legend Derek Bell edition. They are based on a standard 911 Carrera 4 GTS. These Derek Bell editions are painted in sapphire blue metallic with the white and gold side stripe that is reminiscent of the colour scheme found on Derek's winning 956. They are fitted with rear axle steer and sport PASM, adaptive LED lights at the front, and a slight ducktail at the rear thanks to the new Sport design package. These models sit on the centre-locking 911 Turbo S wheels. Bespoke features to these models, other than the side stripes, are the side plaques, illuminated sill plaques, and text on the carbon panel over the glove compartment. Generally, the interior is the same as a normal GTS, with the Alcantara on the steering wheel and the seats. The owner of this particular car, with the very apt number plate, asked Derek to sign the car, a Derek Bell Special Edition 911 signed by the man himself. After this, Derek and the dealer manager Tony then went outside to get a photograph and a signature on the white 911T that we saw at the start of the video.
Right there. That would be perfect. There you go. And just like Darren, let's do it.
That was quite a good idea.
Want to take a couple? I could deal with that.
Okay, so the event has just finished. I'm currently sitting in my car just outside. You may think, why are you ending a vlog like this? Well, it's pretty dark outside, so I mean, this is pretty much the most light I'm going to be able to get. I have to say it was an incredible few hours. It was a lot busier than I anticipated it would be. I just want to take this opportunity to say a huge thank you to Tony, who's a dealer principal here at Porsche Centre Portsmouth. Thank you. I'm sure you're going to be watching this. I really appreciate you inviting me to what is an amazing event. Derek Bell is an incredibly humble guy, amazing storyteller, as well as an amazing racing driver, so I really appreciate the experience. I hope you all enjoyed watching this video and you kind of got a sense of what the evening was all about. Please subscribe for the latest content, and until next time, thanks for watching.